Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much, Gregory and Robin, for inviting me. But Gregory was there and heard it, so he gets more credit. Anyway, some of you may have heard me talk on prospecting before. Prospecting and inviting are very much kind of the same. And today we're going to focus on inviting. And I'm going to just in a second here set my screen up. So hold on. So I can do this properly. And um, wait, I'm
There,
looking.
bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah, I'm looking for that. Oh, there it is. It wasn't
There you
showing.
go.
Okay, so here we are. Now, I didn't pick this picture. Garrett picked this picture. It's not my favorite picture. But anyway, we're going to get going into this. And at the end, we'll be able to have some time for questions. So this is called the heart of inviting because inviting is opening doors to opportunities, and there is a strategy to it. There is a positioning for inviting. It's not just simply, a casual thing, although it seems that way. We're going to dive into what's behind it, the mindset, how you feel, and then I'm going to give some stories, which are always really fun, and then we'll have some questions. So, what does it mean to invite somebody into your business? First of all, this is a gateway skill. When you invite somebody, you're opening the doors for them to step through. And when you do that, there's a certain way that you want to be inviting. So you're offering possibilities. When you're opening that door, you're creating a pathway for others to explore. And this is what people, all the brand partners, all of us want to keep forward in our consciousness that it's not merely a product or a service. We're really inviting people in. It's a moment of connection. It's when they can feel inspired and their imagination can get sparked because of the questions and the way that you're inviting. And this is what we'll dive into a bit more in a few minutes. So this is important because, we all run into people that say, oh, I don't want to be selling. And we all go, you're not selling, you're sharing. So there's a difference between inviting and selling in the beginning. Because as we know, selling focuses mostly on closing a deal, where when you're inviting, you're opening to another solution. And this is done, which we all know, by building relationships because you're igniting a genuine interest. And this is a favorite quote of mine: trust that curiosity is more powerful than information. Because what we're doing in the inviting, which we'll again be going over soon, is we're creating that curiosity for them to want more, to step forward. Because when we're asking questions, we're discovering openness and we want to listen with our heart. The intention when you're asking questions, and I cannot emphasize enough how important questions are. And I'll give some examples on that. But it's a willingness, your intention is to engage them. And that is in relating to them from your heart. And when you're asking questions, you're going to find out what is going on in their life. And that's going to give you a clue. And a question that I ask somewhere along the way many times is, if something could truly improve your life, would you be open to take a quick look? And depending on the person, you have to kind of feel into who you're talking to. But this is a very leading question, and it's an invitation because the invitation is the first step to a bigger conversation. And we all know it feels good to be invited, right? All of us, we like to be invited to parties or different events. And it serves as a catalyst to be able to open that deeper conversation because what we're looking for is resonance. We're creating that relationship. We don't want to do anything that's going to cause resistance. So when you're asking questions, you're going to see how to create that resonance. And again, we're offering hope when we're inviting because we're providing a glimmer of a solution. We're creating that curiosity, and everybody's got challenges, right? So, in those questions that you've talked about, you're going to see where their challenges are, and we're positioning ourselves as allies in their journey. And it's like lighting a candle in a dark room. So the whole idea of inviting is that gateway skill, and you're implementing these strategies, these focuses when you're doing that. Okay. So the 7 most important reasons to invite people to LifeWave. I'm sure you can come up with lots of them. We're going to hit on 7 of them. Inviting is an act of service. And this is a mindset which I touched on a little bit before, because we're helping others, their well-being, their growth. It prioritizes the needs of others when we're really inviting, when we don't have in our mind, oh, I need them to sign up, I'm going to make this or that. If we're not focused on a financial outcome, but really the act of service, that energy is preceding you and people can feel that. And that is really important. And I know you guys know a lot of this, but it's kind of focusing it in so that when you're talking with your teams and new people are coming in and they're wanting to understand how to get going, inviting is a very important process that we go through. So, what we're doing is addressing common needs when we're inviting people in. In the questions that you've talked about with them, you're going to see what they're struggling with, whether it's a health issue, fatigue, aging, overwhelm, financial concerns, because in the end, when we get to the inviting part, you're going to have a solution in the way that you invite for most of what they've shared with you. And we know timing is everything. Not everybody is ready, but our job is to invite. And we know that people's circumstances change all the time, constantly. You've talked to somebody today, 3 months later, everything is topsy-turvy, and you reconnect and they're like, oh my gosh, I really need to talk to you now. I know we've all had these experiences. People are always looking for solutions, for a different way to enhance their lives. So timing, maybe now, it may be later, but our job is to invite and let people know. Success stories from simple invitations. I'm going to share a couple things here because we can all agree that lives change because someone invited them to explore, or you, a new path. And so just look at your own situation. How many of you were invited into LifeWave? Right? All of us in some way or fashion. So I want to share a couple stories because wherever I go, I'm looking to invite people. I'm looking to prospect. I want to connect with people. So one thing that happened recently when I was coming back from the weekend, I was you know how you put your luggage through your carry-on through and you're waiting for it to come through? Well, there's always a group of people there, right? So I always look at that as an opportunity. Sometimes it happens, sometimes, I don't feel it. But there was a woman standing there, really attractive. She had on this gorgeous black, sparkly coat. And if any of you know me, I love sparkles and glitter. So I was like, genuinely, I love that coat. I was like, I love your coat. Where did you get that? And she was very vivacious. She started talking and telling me where. And I said, well, where are you going? And she told me she's on her way to Vegas to a conference. And, she lives in Arizona. And we were talking about what she does. She's single. She used to be married, divorced for 10 years. These are all questions. I'm listening to what she's telling me. And I said, well, where are you going in Vegas? What are you doing? She says, oh, well, I'm in pharmaceutical, but I'm in the plasma end of it. I'm not in the meds. And I said, well, you know what? I'm on the opposite end of you. I'm in a biotech company. And that's all I said. And she says, really? What is that about? And I said, well, obviously you're into your health. She says, oh, yeah, because that's a question I'll always ask. And I'll get to that again later. And so she said, tell me about what this is. And I said, well, it took about 10 years to develop, and we have a patented technology that activates your body. And I know you know what stem cells are to create younger stem cells. Her eyes went, and she said, oh my God, I've got to know more about this. Where's your card? And so we continued the conversation. I gave her card and I said, let me have your card. She says, yes. She said, I'm going to be gone for so many days. Follow up with me when you get back. So that's one story. And it was a matter of asking questions, just connecting in real time to what was happening right in front of you. Now, she had time to sit and talk a little bit, so it was perfect. Then I get on the plane and, you put your luggage up and you're looking, I go to my seat and I'm sitting next to two guys and I'm thinking, well, I don't know, I don't think they didn't look like the type that would be interested in this, but, a woman across the aisle from me did. So I sat down. As soon as I sat down, the guy goes, hi, how are you? They're traveling together. And I said, I'm great. Do you guys live here? Where are you going? I started the conversation. I said, oh, you're so talkative. I love that. And they started telling me they live there. They're going to Atlanta to work on refrigeration. Now, I'm always curious about people's occupations. And so I said, what do you mean refrigeration? Commercial or what, residential? And they told me all about this industry. And I started asking questions because I was curious, like, is it a hard job? And what are you doing? And whatever I asked, they went into deep explanation. Then they started saying it's really a hard, rough job because we have to lift equipment, our backs are aching. And they went on about their health condition. And I'm just listening, right? And I said, well, this is your lucky day because I have something that is absolutely going to change what's going on with your health and help you with all that pain and ache. And so I said, pull out your phone. And I said, I want you to put this link in there. And we were on the plane. It's a 4-hour ride. So they had time to go through it. We were getting ready to take off. And the other thing he said, one of them was more interested. One was younger, one was a little older, but one was bilingual. And I'm like, oh, I really could use somebody like you in my business. And so he said, I'm getting older and this is really rough. And he said, do you know in this industry that we have more divorces and breakups because we're never at home? We're always having to travel to get to our work. And I'm like, oh my God, he couldn't have said anything more perfect. That led me into talking about the business opportunity. And I said, well, not only can I help you with your health, but I have a way, if you want to look at it, where you could earn some extra income, be at home, and this may turn that whole situation around. You know, he said, I've been looking for a way to get out of this business. Well, folks, it was just like it couldn't have been scripted better. It was being in that conversation and talking and really opening up to listening with my heart. What were they telling me? What were they looking for? So those were two examples. I have one more. If I have time, I'll get to that. So we're building momentum with constant invitations because it creates a ripple effect. And we're creating a culture of duplication. Anybody can do this. Anybody can talk. You can talk to anybody. Just be curious because you're curious, then you're going to create curiosity for them because you're going to see where it is that they need help. Remember, we're going on this journey together with them because you are the voice. The opportunity is not seen unless you invite. Your voice, your passion, your belief, it empowers you and it inspires others to take action to explore. And I was so super excited talking to them because I could feel that they really wanted something else. And so I had it. Starting a conversation with people you know or you don't know. And that was kind of what I just did with people I don't know. The best way with people that you know, which many of you do know, is that you connect on the phone, Zoom, or in person because your passion and belief open the door and it's more personal. People that are coming into our business really need to understand that, new brand partners, because the tone and the emotion conveyed make it much more effective. However, if you do text, you create a very straightforward text that's very effective. I've got something important to talk to you about. When are you available? And if they ask you what it is, you stay with the curiosity and you say, that's why we need to talk. So that's the kind of texting that can work. Other than that, you're not able to convey the importance of what it is. And again, maintaining curiosity because you're dropping breadcrumbs and you're pointing to a tool. So, like I said, I gave them a link. The new app is out. You know, now we're learning how to use that. It has tremendous support for sending something out to a new person you're talking to. So, I would say to really get more apt at using the app. Apt at the app. That was you. Okay. The role of questions, and I started to talk about this before. It is so, so important. On the plane, by the time I got to giving them a solution, we were already buddies, talking about their job and their family and what they do. I just kept asking questions. How many kids do you have? They've been married, divorced, all these things. I got a total rundown. So I was able to invite in a very meaningful, relevant way. And another thing that I ask, I didn't do it this time, but with the next story, I do say, do you have a plan B in place? Because people understand that, especially if they're working dollars for hours. I say, I see how hard you work. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to earn income even when you're not working? This is for those people working dollars for hours because it's limiting. And when I genuinely am talking to somebody and feel that, I really feel that they could do better than that. A lot of people are just stuck in what they're doing. So I'm kind of creating an opening in their imagination for something else they can do. Let's see here. Okay, inviting someone to explore introducing the business side. I've kind of gone over this in everything I've said, but you want to engage with curiosity-driven questions because that sparks the interest and they're going to want to know more. Ask questions that resonate with their aspirations. That's creating the connection and motivation, which is what I did. And then I'm going to give one more story. I think I have time. Encourage exploration of dreams. Inviting individuals to share their dreams and aspirations can also open up where you can invite. And discussing the concept of Plan B, introducing the idea in about financial stability, security, alternative income streams, because most people know this. And I say, wealthy people always have more than one income stream, and everybody always agrees. So I'm equating that if they want to get wealthy, let's look at another income stream. So I'll tell the story real quick. I was looking for a hairdresser, a new hairdresser, and I asked a friend of mine, and she said, "Oh, I've got this great woman, and she's been doing it a really long time, over 10 years, and she does everything, cutting, color, whatever you need." So I made an appointment and I went, and I love going to new service people because it's always a opening to start a conversation. And hairdressers always like to talk, and she was this way. My friend had said, she really connects with her clients. And so we started talking, and she was been in the industry about 14 years. This cutting is her favorite thing. I asked her lots of questions about what she does, when she's not there. And so we were creating rapport. And I said, "Wow, so you're always, using your arms and your shoulders. Do you have any aches and pains?" She says, "Oh my gosh." She said, "I've been dealing with that for a long time." I said, "Well, what do you use?" She says, "Well, I have this cream, or sometimes I take Tylenol." And I said, "You know what? I have something to share with you. I'd like to invite you to look at something because I think this is really going to change your life." And I was in the chair, so I put it in my phone and I started playing it so she could watch and hear it. And then I didn't go through the whole thing. And she was interested. And I said, "Let me ask you, do you have a plan B?" And she said, "Not really." And she said, and I said, "Have you ever thought about what you could do beyond the chair to earn income?" And she said, "You know what? Nobody ever asked me that." And I said, "Well, your hands are very valuable, but you're getting older." And she was. And I said, "You may want to look at something that can create residual income for your retirement, for, when you're not working." And so I said, "This is an opportunity that is so in your wheelhouse because you've got all these clients and you're talking to them all the time. And I'm sure that they have aches and pains because we had already discussed that." And she said, "You're right." And I said, "Why don't you look at this link and I'll get back with you tomorrow. Let's talk." And she called me and she said, "You know what? I want to thank you for inviting me. I'm ready." So that is another example of how this works. And I'm just going to quickly show you some invitation openers that are different from what I just said. I always usually say, "Are you into your health?" Because I want to set them up for the direction that I'm going to be focusing. Because people will say, yeah, I am, or I wish I was better. Whatever it is, it's perfect. So I'm just going to go through these real quickly. Want to see a really cool biohack for your health? Interested in an advanced wellness secret? Ever tried light for healing? You've got to see this. It's a total game changer for energy and sleep. Something big is happening in the wellness innovation. You want to look inside? You've got to see this. It's blowing up the wellness space. If there was a way to move closer to your dreams, would you want to know about it? So depending who I'm talking to, these are some ideas. You can, mix and match, do whatever, but it gives you're creating that curiosity. You want them to say yes. So with that, I'm going to close with three amazing quotes that are very important about inviting. Your dreams are waiting on the other side of one brave invitation. Invite boldly because your courage might be the doorway to someone else's freedom. And last, one simple invitation can awaken a destiny. And these three focuses are why we want to invite. So I want to thank you all for listening. And I'm good, Gregory.
You are good. Beamy, I tell you, there's a good reason why you and your team are one of the most successful teams in LifeWave, and you're, in the upper ranks of leadership. That was the most brilliant training on invitation I've ever heard. And oh, thank you for being willing to share it. I know you got a standing ovation in last week when we were together in Scottsdale, and I'm sure that if people were in the audience would be standing, they would be standing with us now. But with that, I guess we'll open it up. If anyone has any comments or questions they'd like to share with Beamy or ask, just raise your hand and we'll call on you. And we've got a little bit more time. But thanks again, Beamy, and Dr. Latrice. There you go, my dear.
I just had to jump in right away. Oh my goodness, Miss Beamy, thank you so much. The information was reminding me, the information was inspiring me. I know we have to motivate ourselves, and sometimes you have to light your own fire, but thank you for throwing gas on my fire. There we go.
Thank
Well
you.
said. Well
Thank you.
said. Oh, guys. Okay. Hey, Elizabeth, good morning. You can unmute yourself, my dear. Elizabeth.
Oh, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I was really pressing unmute, and it wasn't working, and then it worked. Well, good morning, everybody. And Beamy, I'm giving you my standing O right here from my desk. Thank you. And I'm so glad you're up today doing the training because I have always appreciated some of your uh, just your one-liners, the way you talk to people. It's just excellent. And unfortunately, I hopped on here a few minutes late, but I've wanted to reach out to you and ask you because you have the most perfect kind of elevator speech. I just love it, and I keep trying to remember it. But can you go over that? I wrote down today, I think you talk about you work for a biotech company. And then you have a few more things. You may have already said it this morning, but I missed it. Could you just put the replay button on that one? I'd love to hear again. It's so good. Thank you, Beamy. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. Yeah. It's really quick. It's, people, if I ask them what they're doing and then they come back to me, or like with the lady with the luggage, I say, I'm with a global biotech company that has a patented technology. And then I'll say, are you into your health? because I kind of stop it and bring that in. And then I say, well, it activates your body to either, I'll say, for age reversal or to make younger stem cells, depends who I'm talking to. And there's no ingredients. I put that, well, no, I say, because, sorry, right at that, and I show them the patch because normally I have it on my hand, and I say, this is it, and there's no ingredients. And that's what I'll say. And then the next thing is I point to a tool to get them to look at it.
Mm.
Wow. Wow. That was amazing, Bhimi. Listen, I just did a quick course on shorthand. I just wrote it all down.
Well, it's
For those of
recorded,
us who are
so
old enough who know what shorthand is.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you,
great.
Bhimi.
you're
Appreciate it.
welcome.
So good.
Hey, good morning, Janice. You've got a question or a comment for Bhimi.
Yes. Hold on. Let me try to get my hand down.
Don't no, leave it up until you're done
Oh,
talking.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I was
And
unmute myself. Okay. Yes. I love all you said, Beamy, and I really appreciate you sharing all that. I get stumped when they automatically just come back to me and say, how do I get it? Where do I get it? Where can I buy it? And I just say, I sell it. That's kind of a turnoff. What's your response to that?
You say, I'm so excited that you're already turned on. I want you to look at this link. I'm going to call you tomorrow and I'll go over all that with you.
Okay. So if you're
They,
just
they
somebody,
don't know enough yet. They may be excited, but they need to get educated.
so
They
you,
need to have some background.
so you just say, let me send you a link if they say that and you don't tell them that you,
Yes, but I celebrate that they're excited. I'm
yeah,
really like, wow, this is great. Okay, we'll do it tomorrow. I want you to look at this. You have to take control of the narrative. Just because somebody says, I want it, it's like, you don't lose your footing. You want to get it done in the way that you are duplicating, because what you're doing is showing them when they sign up that you did the right thing.
yeah.
Because
They haven't said that they want it. They just want to know how do they get that? Like how to,
well,
where, or
yeah, you say, look at this, and I'll call you tomorrow, and I'll go over and answer your questions.
thank you.
You're welcome.
beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, Pam, good morning.
Good morning. Bebe, you are amazing. Just the way you present it. And I come from the beauty industry. So just what
Oh,
you're talking about is like right on. Do you have a plan B? I mean, that is something that a lot of people don't think about. And I just want to thank you so much for just being who you are.
Mm.
Every time I see you, you're just a boil of just joy.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hey, good morning, Lavelle.
Yeah, great job, Beanie. And also, like Dr. Latrice said, it's a reminder for some of us who have been around the industry for a long time. Because I like to say you're either OT or OT. You're either on track or off track. And you helped us get back on track there, Beanie. But a couple of things you said, guys, and it was just amazing. You said, well, this is your lucky day. That's such a
Love that.
great quote, Beanie. I took your notes, and it was just a great training that you did. And I love the other thing that you said. It's an act of service. We're not really trying. And then the person before you says, "What do you say when they say, 'Where do I get it?'" And there's an old story, like the old wolf and the young wolf. The young wolf said, "Look, all those sheep down there. Let's go down there and get one." No, the old wolf said, "No, take your time and we'll get them all." Take your time. Then when the person gets excited, like you said, they kind of get a little more education because they're just excited in that process. But if you take them through that process, you'll be more successful. Thanks so much for sharing, Beanie. Great job. Thanks, Gregory, for bringing this to us as well.
Oh, that's great. Thanks. Okay, Linda, go ahead, please.
Well, good morning. Thank you for all the information. My question is, what do you say to someone who says, I need to talk to my doctor first?
That's always an interesting statement. You say, I totally understand. And sure, you can show him this information, but I'm not sure he's going to really understand this technology because it's not really doctor educated in that way. We're scientifically and clinically proven, but it's light frequency, it's phototherapy. So here's the link, and I'll be happy to talk to your doctor. But again, he may not get it, but I can assure you that we have a lot of doctors that are using this in their practices. So let's talk again soon or something like that. I'm going to recognize what that issue is. And really, most doctors don't know. And I want her to know that her doctor won't know, probably.
Mhm.
So it's hit and miss with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, great. Carol, go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Hi. All these
Hi.
pictures pop up in my controls here.
Yeah.
Beanie, that was a brilliant presentation. I did see it in Scottsdale live, but you can never see it enough. I think I'm going to watch it again. So I appreciate all your wonderful tips. I was just wondering if anybody knows anything about or where to find the exclusive live drive webinar training on the LifeWave Now app that we were promised. When is it? Where is it? I don't know where to find it.
That's a question for another discussion, and I would either get with customer service or your upline because I don't want to get us off track because that could
Okay.
go deep. And the Now app is in a current state of evolution as they refine it all for us. So, and I think access to what I call the sharing library is going to become more easier to find, easier to use. So I'm actually working with the marketing department and Wayne on that. So,
Okay. Thank you.
so
That helps.
to be continued. Thanks, Carol. Hey, Sean, do you have a question for Bimi?
I do. So great presentation. I entered late. Sorry about that. I would love to see the replay. I'm sure I'll find it somewhere. But my question is, Beamy, when you send them the link, do you have a favorite video that you send them? And what is that? Can you put the link in the chat for that one? There's so many LifeWave videos. I'm just curious if you found a favorite.
Well, Gregory and Robin have a link, and if you're using their personal website, you can send them that gives an overview. You can, I have a link that I use. It's called whythelight.com. It's a different focus. Each team, the Evolve team, also has a link. So it depends what you're used to, and then you can also use the app. Usually that 3-minute video that shows how the technology works is very helpful. You want people to understand that. And the video with David Schmidt talking about either the 200 patents or his vision for the company.
Great. And the Why the Light video, I think that's the first one that you see on our personalized Live Younger website at the very top. Is that correct? With the woman there? It's like the very first video on that page. I'm wondering if that's the one you're talking about.
I'm not sure.
Got you. Let's see, another question that I had real quick. Yeah, so let's see here. So when you're talking to friends, that's kind of one of those interesting things because I connected with a friend I hadn't seen yesterday in like a long time, and I think it all went really well. She has cerebral palsy, by the way, and she's a little bit older, and she's losing her flexibility as CP people get older. They tend to get more locked up and more stiff. And so I talked to her about the life wave. She seems really interested. But then later on, I'm thinking, I hope she didn't think that like, oh, he wants to have coffee with me so he can sell me something. We didn't get into any of we just stayed with what it does and the technology and things like that. But has anybody found like a sweet way of doing that with your longtime friends? Like, I mean, and I think it's all good, but I'm looking to
Well, let's
polish that.
let's look at that because you're talking to a friend that you care about and you say, I'm sharing this with you because I know you've got challenges and I really care about you and I think this could really help your quality of life. That's it.
That's what I did.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Sean, go ahead, please.
No, he just talked.
Oh, was that Sean that was just talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I
Okay.
lowered my hand.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. So Nan, there you go.
Yes, good morning. Fantastic. Thank you, Beamy. You know, it's funny, my other profession, I'm a certified life coach, and I was trained to listen. And so a lot of what you said, I know. And I do pretty good at it. You know what though? I don't do it enough. And you have just so motivated me to get out there and share. So I
Mhm.
appreciate this was really great. And actually, it just popped up on my phone and I clicked to watch it. And so I have goosebumps because it was meant to be. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.
You're
That's so
welcome.
great. Just a little nudge for everyone to get on the text message reminder. See, Nan wouldn't have got on. She would have totally missed it.
That's right.
That's
Have a
great.
good day, everyone.
Thank you. Hey, good morning, Sunshower.
Good morning, Beanie. This was top notch. You really touched a lot of people. I love the one-liners that you gave me. I made a bunch of notes. I've taken screenshots to send to my team of your presentation, and I will, and I'll talk to them about it if they're willing. Um, this is your lucky day is one of the most powerful ones I've heard yet. And you know, I've been around the networking block for 24 years. You have to take control of the narrative. And everybody that's
Mhm.
been around this block knows that the person that's asking the questions is in control of the conversation. And you must watch your wording and thinking around the word control. Don't think that you're like controlling control, like a control freak. It's just that you know where you'd like to take the conversation. They may have no clue what you have to offer is going to be so powerful that it'll change the rest of their life and people around them. They don't know that. But you ask, you give them things to do too. I want you to go to this link. See, a lot of people cannot do that. And I'm telling you, you guys, you have to practice. Practice with your mentors, practice with your friends. Because if you don't, when you're out there at the airport, you'll go and it just won't come out. So I have a whole lot more that I could say the scientifically and clinically proven. We have a lot of doctors using this in their practices, and then really shut up. Don't be going on and on. People don't like that. They want to be heard. Good job, Beamy.
Thank
Amen.
you. Let me just say one thing there, because we're really not trying to convince or sell or pressure people to do anything. And what Sunshine said, I always say the wrong. Um, I'm sorry. Sun shower. I want to call you Sunshine. Anyway, you're really the flow that you heard and how I did it. Nobody knew that I was strategically guiding the conversation. I genuinely was asking questions that I needed information on so that I could respond. But it's very
Mhm.
natural. They don't know, but you're gathering it. So you have to think of yourself as a treasure hunter going out and you're gathering all the nuggets and the information, then you got your treasure. Okay.
I'm going to add one thing to that before I call on you, Norma. And I learned this from probably the top sales trainer in the real estate industry, okay, Tommy Hopkins, and who I had the pleasure of working with years ago in another network marketing company. We worked together, shared the platform, a podium together. And one thing I remember that he taught is exactly what you're just saying, is you qualify before you present. And you qualify by just engaging, get the curiosity. Your curiosity creates their curiosity, and then you know which road to go down, what to do next. So well said. Thank you. Thank
Well,
you. Thank you,
let me
Beanie.
add to that
Yeah,
because
go ahead, honey.
when you say qualify, what Beamy said in the very beginning, are you open? Because
Yeah.
we want to be respectful of our time and theirs. So finding out very early,
Mhm.
I've got what I say is a little bit different, but similar. I've got something safe, natural, and affordable that can address your lumpuckaroo. How open are you to learn about it? And so Gregory's the lumpuckaroo guy, in case you didn't know. But
Yeah.
that's what we want to do is we're
That's
looking for
not a
people
medical
that are
claim, by the
open.
way.
And that's why Beamy says, are you into health? That's another qualifier to see if they're a good prospect, like Gregory
Mhm.
says, to qualify them. Great job, Beamy. That was fabulous. I heard it was amazing, and I'm so glad I got to hear it. And I'm going to listen again because I got a few interruptions from my doctor's offices.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Norma, go ahead, please.
Okay. Well, Beamy, you are spot on. I've been in network marketing for over 30 years, being
Mhm.
75, so I've been around the block. Um, so what do you do when my trainer at the gym asked me yesterday when I was sharing with him, because I've been sharing little drips and drops, you want to sprinkle and keep dripping. He said, "Is this network marketing?" And I said, "Yes, it is." And it's like his face just went, like cold, like, and I probably should have asked him, what what are you feeling about network marketing? I don't know. How do you respond? Because that's what I did to Wendy and Max House when they were telling me about it. I texted him, I said, "Is this network marketing?" And they didn't answer me. It was like, oh, because they're not answering me, it probably is. I was furious because I had had some challenges with, network marketing. I won't go into. And I didn't want to be involved again. And it's like, oh, but LifeWave drew me in, sucked me in 100%. So be me. Talk to me.
Yes. Yeah, that happens frequently actually. People are asking, and right off the bat, usually more than not, it's some kind of bad experience or they're going to feel negative about it. So soon as I hear it, I'm like prepared and I say, yes, isn't that fantastic? Because we all get to share in the wealth. And they say, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. And I say, there are pyramid schemes, but that's not network marketing. Did you know that the industry is over $100 billion? Now, something's got to be working there. And let me tell you what, and it depends who I'm talking to. I say, let me tell you what a pyramid is. Corporate, the people at the top make all the money, and all the managers and the people underneath can never get to where the top person is. That is a classic pyramid. In network marketing, you can make any amount depending on your effort and no matter when you come in. So I pretty quickly turn that around, then they're going to respond. And sometimes I say, oh, did you have a bad experience? Let me know I want them to come forward. I'm going to address it head on. I don't want to shun it or, push it away. I welcome that because I'm going to blast that away.
I love it, Beamy. And Norma, the way you responded was fabulous because you said, yes, it is. And just simply what I do after that when people say, is this network marketing? I said, because I'm very proud of our profession. And I think all of us should be proud of this amazing profession that is mostly when people have judgment, it's because they don't understand.
Mhm.
Judgment comes from ignorance. If people realize that this is a lifestyle business, that anyone from anywhere could create a lifestyle of their dreams, but the way Norma responded very positively, she's proud of the business. And then I might say, yes, it is. Help me understand. Why did you ask? Because I don't want to
Mhm.
presume good or bad from their past experience. Many times it's, and then if they say I had a bad experience, they say, would you be open to something that might be different than your past experience?
Oh, perfect. Spot on.
And I think we might want to do a whole training on that subject right there.
Yes,
Could be.
yes,
Because
yes.
because it's still out there. It's less and less and less, but we have such great wisdom.
Oh
Like,
boy.
Norma's experience and Bimi can make such a huge difference for all of us to be so proud of this amazing perception. And Gregory and I have a business called Enlightened Networking, and part of our business and mission is to shift the perception of this great profession.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Robin. Do a train. Yes, yes, yes. Probably Janet Kiefer will do it because she is brilliant, or one of the other brilliant ones. Oh, I love your trainings, you guys.
Yes,
Be
she
me.
is.
Mwah, 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 mwah.
All right. And Janet, you're up next. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Beamy, another example of the rock star you are, girl. Dang. I'd like to point out something Beamy does that I'd like you to think about as part of the invitation. If you've noticed, Beamy is always colorful. She always has interesting things she wears. She carries interesting purses. She has a persona out in the world that's engaging, and people have the ability to comment and engage with her. People now wear dull clothes, they hide out, they're on their phones. So make it a point of intentionally dressing. I always wear like a brooch or a hat, something that people can stop and go, oh, which happens a lot in airports. Oh, I love your hat. I love this and that. People want to engage, but they don't know how to. And gentlemen, this goes for you. I don't expect you to hold purses, perhaps, but you need to dress intentionally. A well-dressed man attracts a lot of women's attention, to be honest. And it's a time now when you're traveling in the holidays, give them something to just talk about with you. Simple stuff. But Beamy, you always do it really well. You're always someone in the crowd people stop and look at because you make yourself interesting. So another way you're so successful. Good job, girl.
It
Thank
reminds
you.
me of that old book, Dress for Success. How many people have read that 40 years ago? Well
And I
said.
want to say one thing because I was sitting in the airport. There was a couple sitting across from me. He had the guy a black leather, tote bag or knapsack. On the front of it was this big, a lion in brass that was on that. And I said, "Oh my God, where did you get that? It's incredible." He says, "You're the third person today that has commented." I said, "I need that bag for my business."
See, so she could engage from what somebody was carrying. Let you be that person.
That's awesome.
Oh
Yeah.
my good. I'm traveling on Tuesday. I'm going to wear something different.
There you go.
Thanks,
Uh,
Mimi.
Nan, you had another question or
Janet.
comment? Go ahead and unmute yourself. And if you can't, Sunshower, you can, oh, go ahead while we're waiting for Nan to unmute.
Okay.
Sunshower, go ahead.
Way back when, in I think 2001, I learned this one. So the person goes, "Oh, it's one of those." Well, what do you mean one of those? Oh, one of those scams, or there's so many terms people can say, and you go, here's what you say. You go, wow, it sounds like you have quite a story. Tell me about that. And typically, they don't have a story. They've heard it from their brother's nephew's wife's cousin, and they just babble because they don't know what in the world to say. So that's just one part of that. That could go a lot of different ways. But another thing I'd like to stress that Bimi was talking about was, you're looking for the yeses. So, and I know Lavelle would concur with this. If you could get three yeses, you're in. That's all there is to it.
That's right. All right. So I see, Nan, you've got yourself unmuted. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I figured it out, and I got my
All right.
husband sneezing in the background. I just wanted to share one of my qualifying lines that I really like, and it works really well. Do you
Mhm.
take a natural approach to your health?
Ah,
A
nice.
more natural approach to your health. And then you're going to
Mhm.
know, are they medical? Do they listen to their doctor and talk about pre-qualifying? That can really work. And then people will say, well, what do you mean by that? And so it gives me a chance to, talk on that. And then I love that saying. And if they say, oh, I do, and then guess what, Beamy? I say, this is your lucky day. So, and then one other thing, if someone is asking, about network marketing, is this a network marketing company? And and if they have a negative approach to that, and I say, well, you know what? I love it because I'm the boss or I'm the owner of the company.
Beautiful.
So I cannot get fired unless I fire myself.
Fireproof.
Right on.
Beautiful. So I was thinking that the line everybody should use, we'll have this recording up on Live Younger Success in What's New, and we'll have it on liveyoungeryoutube.com later on today. But you could talk to your group and say, hey, this morning, were you on this morning's training? Oh my gosh, it was the most amazing training by Beamy on inviting, and this is your lucky day. They recorded it.
It is one of the most important skills in our entire profession is
Uh-huh.
inviting.
It is.
And so grateful that you did this masterful job today, Beamy. Thank you.
So I see two hands up, and we're at almost top of the hour. Elo Levette, I'm asking you to unmute if you can, and then Tom. Oh, she put her hand
Hi.
down. Oh, where'd
Okay.
you go? Don't put
Um,
your hand down till after you're done talking, but go ahead.
okay. Okay.
Okay.
So thank you, Vimy, for that beautiful presentation. Just as others have said, it's so enlightening. I have a question. Um, when, if you, with your wisdom, can maybe address this or put it together some kind of way. What I realize is that when we're talking to people about selling the tech or sharing the technology, they want to come back with the network marketing deal. But in reality, I say to them sometimes, if you're not growing your own vegetables or milking your own cow, everything is network marketing. You know what I'm saying? There's always a middleman. So I would like to know, how could I say that? I mean, I say it like that. It depends on the conversation and the person, but that's just a true statement. There's nothing
That's
that's
true.
not multi-level unless
That's
you are
true.
growing your own vegetables and milking your own cow.
That's brilliant.
That's
I,
clever.
I think you did good.
Mhm. Amen. I do too.
So, okay, I just wanted to kind of maybe get some insight,
No,
Bimi,
that's
because you
great.
okay, because it's such a true fact. I mean, everybody talk about multi-level. Somebody's in the middle is getting something all the time.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Tom, you can be our last one, and right at the top of the hour, we'll squeeze you in here.
All right. Well, thanks. Story of my life being the last one. Thanks so much, everybody who shared. And this was the first time I tuned in to what you all are doing. I was mainly just interested in making sure I have the correct address for the recording access so I can listen
Yeah.
again. I wasn't able to take notes.
Yeah, I'll say it again. It's liveyoungersuccess.com.
Okay.
And then you go over to the right-hand margin and you'll see the What's New section. And in the What's New section, we put all of our Thursday trainings in there. So you'll scroll down and give us a few hours to get it. It takes Zoom a couple hours to process it. And then once they're processed, then we have to download it, load it up. And also it'd be liveyoungeryoutube.com. And that's where we put all of our recordings. So there's lots of other ones there.
All right. Well, guys, thanks a million. Sure do appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Well, Beamy, hats off. I mean, we're all giving you a standing O. That was fabulous. That was so
Thank you.
great.
I'm glad it was useful, and it helped me myself. When you do these kind of things, you're honing up your own skills as well. We all need to practice and get out more. So it was an honor to be here. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. And I'll leave with the Stephen Covey quote, teach what you want to learn. So by Bhimi taking the time to do the preparation for boot camp and for today, it was even helpful for her. And that's so wonderful. Thank you, Bhimi. Yeah, thank
Thanks,
you,
everyone.
everyone. Great contributions today. Great questions. A very important topic. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhimi.
Thank
Thank you, Gregory, Robert.
This was
Thank you.
fantastic.
Adios.
Have a
Everybody
wonderful
enjoy
day.
a smooth vacation.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Again.
Wonderful.
Bless you.
Yes.
You're a blessing.
Great presentation.
Blessings.
Training.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Love
Thank you
Tribe.
so much. It was so awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Till next time.
Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.